There's Connor. Getting some help from his skipper, Alec McLeish. Goff winning it well from Hillhouse. Hillhouse backing into Goff. The referee allows play to continue with Rangers in possession, despite the howls of the Rangers fans for a free kick. The free kick has now been given for the tackle by Alec McLeish on Maurice Johnston. So Rangers still going forward. It's been a convincing start from Rangers. Stephen to Spackman. Now Walters. Cover provided there by Simpson. Stephen brought down by Hillhouse. The referee's given the free kick. Well, Hans Hillhouse known more for his goal scoring and creative talents than for that kind of tackle. Well taken by Mims. Very commanding figure in the Aberdeen goal. Playing his 8th match. He's just been on the losing side once. Well, an unorthodox kick out, resulting in the ball being returned there for a free kick given for some elbow work inside the box.
Yeah, you're right there. Little Mo was getting just too close to him there, and the referee decided, you know, he was infringing.
Beautifully cushioned layoff there by Hillhouse for Bet. Well challenged by Stephen. That's too far ahead of McCoist. McLeish to Connor. Aberdeen so adept at playing football from defence. Connor couldn't get there in time. That's a throw to Rangers. Well, Rangers will be content, I think, with this opening 5-minute spell. They've bedded down very convincingly in.
Yes, started off in a very positive manner, and as we thought, because I mean there's no point in coming to a game such as this with so much at stake and sitting back and expecting to win the match. They've got to have a go.
So this time the throw goes to Aberdeen, and Jim Bett will take it. Simpson offering himself short. Nicholas and Hillhouse doing some cross running up on the left flank. Turned away by Butcher. Very diligent marking by the Rangers defence. Irvin showing himself inside, tackled instantly by Spackman. This is Bet. A little shimmy to make space for himself. McKimmie calls for the ball on the far side. Leaping very early for that ball, but Stuart Monroe was well in control of things at the back for Rangers. Misjudged by both McCoist and Connor. Little push there by McCoist, and the referee's given the free kick. So a capacity crowd here at Pittodrie, 22,500 in this superb all-seater stadium. In summery conditions, it is very pleasant indeed overhead. Little breeze which Aberdeen are playing into at the moment. Goff going for the ball. Nicholas didn't. Now Richard Goff is clearly upset by that decision, and referee Syme giving the free kick against Rangers, although in fairness Goff seemed to be the player trying to play the ball, whereas Nicholas was not making any real attempt to jump.
I would agree with that, Jock. I think you're right in that one, and I'm always surprised when referees do that. You know, the defender goes for the ball, the forward bends his back, and the foul's against the defender.
A chance now for Aberdeen to get forward. Brian Irvin and Alec McLeish are in the box. It's won by Butcher. There's Simpson. Grant plays it wide. An awkward one for Jim Bett. That was almost an excellent pass. Bett hugging the left side of the Aberdeen midfield at this stage. There's Hillhouse. Back towards Grant. There's a second chance from Walters. Here's Nicholas away from Goff. Sidestepping Butcher, but Spackman was there with a challenge. And down goes Butcher. Free kick to Rangers. Charlie Nicholas inquiringly looking towards the referee, wondering why he didn't get a free kick. Spinning off the head of McLeish, that was Connor. Butcher hooks it clear. McKimmie caught there by Walters. Monroe keeps it in. Here's Brian Grant. The early pass trying to pick up Charlie Nicholas ahead. Nicholas, who always wants the ball played to feet. A little bit unhappy about the lack of accuracy in that pass. Irvin's header. Grant chesting it down to McKimmie. Stuart McKimmie taking some good-natured ribbing here at Aberdeen about his failure to score for the club for so long, and then pop up with that great goal for Scotland against Argentina. So free kick to Rangers. Will be taken by Richard Gough.
Well, white fetlocks today, Richard. I don't know, is that strapping he's got on there for his ankles?
Certainly appears to be.
Fancy socks.
Gough playing a long free kick. There was Terry Butcher. And an offside flag up against Maurice Johnston. Yes, Richard Gough was one of the Rangers players particularly pleased to find that the pitch had been watered. And clearly that reflects his little bit of anxiety about the hard grounds at this time of the year. So that may be the reason for that substantial ankle strapping. Mason's header. There's Hillhouse and Nicholas looking for Bet on the left. Retaining possession well away from Gary Stevens, who took a knock in that challenge with Bet. Back now with Nicholas taking on Stephen. Brilliance from Charlie Nicholas. The ball just shaving the bar at the end. Look at the way he takes this. He's thinking only of one thing now, getting a shot on target, taking on Trevor Stephen, and then the outside of the right boot, floating that just over the bar.
It was a little toe poke at the end of it, but lovely skill with Charlie. Saw the lovely dummy come inside, and then just had a little toe poke off his forward foot, just a shade over the bar, but lovely skill.
So Charlie Nicholas looking in the mood. There will be a hold-up before Chris Woods can take this goal kick, because Gary Stevens is getting some treatment. Remember, he was injured making that tackle on Jim Bett just a moment ago. Gary Stevens, one of the ever-presents in the Rangers lineup, was Stuart Monroe and Maurice Johnston, and a very resilient character. Phil Boersma administers the treatment. Certainly nothing sinister in the challenge. It was Stevens trying to play the ball and Bett screening it. He looks to be in substantial trouble.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for Rangers, because normally when you get up the first time, if you've had a knock and the trainer's been on, you get up, it's a case of, you know, okay, I'm fine, and you go on with the game. But to sit back down again is obviously in some pain.
And indeed, Rangers are calling John Brown from a warm-up position behind Chris Wood's goal round to the dugout. It looks as though there may be an enforced change required by Rangers very early in the match. Well, let's have a look and see how this happened. There was Bet. There was the challenge made by Gary Stevens. It appeared to go over on his ankle, in fact, after making the challenge.
Very simply done. He just went over on his ankle. You're right enough, Jock.
So Rangers continue for the moment with 10 men to establish for sure whether or not Stevens may be fit to resume. But John Brown has been called there to the track. There's Graham Souness with Walter Smith. They're in the stand, of course. There's Maurice Johnston. Well tackled by Mason. He tackles back very well indeed, the Aberdeen number 9. That's good play by Spackman and by McCoist. Stephen coming from the wide right position, dropped back to replace Gary Stevens for the moment. And McKimmie showing his confidence in Bobby Mims and in his own heading ability. Butcher's header. There's Walters. Brought down now by Irvin. Monroe doing well to keep that in play. There's an offside flag up. It was against Hans Hillhouse in the middle of the field, I think. Perhaps also Paul Mason on the flank. Hillhouse, though, I think, is the player judged offside. There's Walters. Back from Grant. Irvine playing it forward. So Aberdeen finding it difficult to get the ball through their midfield with Grant on the right, Simpson in the middle, Bett on the left. The front three, Mason, Nicholas and Hillhouse. And here comes John Brown. Decision's taken. Gary Stevens will not be able to return, so John Brown comes on to replace him. Now this will involve some reorganisation, I think, of the Rangers back four, and I wonder if Richard Gough may be going to right back, or is it Stuart Monroe? Stuart Monroe it is who's gone across to right back, with John Brown slotting in at left back. Timmy gets it back. Maybe to go into that heavy challenge on Spackman. There's Butcher. Irvine coming across. Connor to Bett. This is Connor. Fearless ball inside, which McCoy was able to block but not control. Paul McLeish takes it back from Mims. Hillhouse getting up well, but the head of Richard Gough won the day. Monroe's first involvement as an emergency right back. There's Bett. Now Mason. Will Simpson. McKimmy's made a run. And Walters did well coming back to intercept that pass, aimed for McKimmy. And it's McKimmy who's been flagged offside, but the referee hasn't spotted that, and with Rangers in possession, the flag has gone down. Here's Johnston. Connor wins it back. Mason's header. Here's Bett. Stepping away from Stephen. Getting a warm round of applause from the Aberdeen fans. Well, under pressure there from Ferguson. They've been trying the long ball this time, looking for Mason in the middle. Header on. There's Monroe going in on Hillhouse. Well, I can't recall Stuart Monroe playing it right back at any other time in his career. And that certainly was a very good challenge in his new role on Hillhouse. Connor looking for Hillhouse. The marker again is Monroe. Simpson takes over. There's Grant letting the ball run. He caught Walters. The free kick to Rangers. The Aberdeen fans are not at all pleased about that. They think that Walters made a great deal of this. Grant allowed that ball to run across him, then had to go in and appeared to make contact all right with the Rangers number 11. So Butcher will take this free kick. Gough has gone forward. That's aimed for Johnston. It struck the hand of Connor. Well, no question about that. That struck Robert Connor's hand, and referee Syme turns away. He's not interested at all, and clearly he's convinced that that was unintentional. Well, undoubtedly a controversial moment. But Rangers trying to get the ball out of midfield. It's picked up though by Nicholas. Here's Hillhouse. Challenged fiercely there by Stuart Monroe, and Ian Ferguson is caught there by Hillhouse. There's a free kick to Rangers, and Hans Hillhouse will be spoken to by referee David Syme. And that's the reason for it, that late tackle. And the referee allowing attention there for Ferguson. Well, Ian Ferguson, the second Rangers player to be in the wars after Gary Stevens had to be replaced early on by John Brown. Now some anxiety about Ian Ferguson. But a controversial moment there as that ball appeared to strike the hand of Connor.
Well, thought the same as you when you said you felt it was accidental. There you are. I'm sure that Robert Connor didn't know where the ball was. It came over his head. His right arm was out there for balance as he jumped, and it hit his hand. I mean, there's no way that he would intentionally hand the ball inside the penalty area when, you know. So really and truly, it was an accident. And the Rangers players, quite rightly, of course, looking for a penalty kick.
Quite clearly on the replay, Robert Connor appeared to be an innocent party. The referee Syme certainly was extremely well positioned. He was very close to the play. Clearly saw what happened, but made an instant judgment that it was an accident. So there's the spray on the right knee of Ian Ferguson.
I don't think Hillhouse can complain about getting booked in that incident there, because that was a rather late rash tackle. There's Andy Roxburgh there, who I came up on the flight with today from Manchester.
Andy Roxburgh with Craig Brown. Alex Smith right behind the Scotland pair, looking very pensive. Ferguson limps back into the action. Very tough character, although he has had his problems with illness and injury this season. Richard Goss free kick. Spackman heading it on. There's Irvin. Headed away by Connor. Hillhouse down towards Bet. Simpson offers support inside. Hustled there by Trevor Stephen. Here's Irvin. He was bumped there on the way past by Mark Walters, so a free kick to Aberdeen. And the referee clearly is determined to keep a very firm grip on things. A little bit of an exchange there between Johnston and Simpson, and suddenly things are becoming just a little bit tense.
It's all getting a little bit scrappy down there, but they're having a laugh now and maybe sorting it out. But it looks as if Ferguson having to go off as well.
Well, very serious indeed for Rangers. So early in the match, Ian Ferguson, who's had a most unfortunate season, started with that virus, then injury, and now he's been replaced by the former Aberdeen player Davy Dodds. And I reckon that will be a direct replacement. Dodds, I think, will go straight into that midfield role beside Nigel Spackman, vacated by Ferguson. McLeish for the free kick. One beaten by Butcher. Spackman's attempt at the pass back had to be sent wide of the target, and it has given Aberdeen the corner kick. Well, Spackman caught here eventually, facing his own goal, and he wanted to play this back to Chris Woods, but then saw that Charlie Nicholas was in the way and played it for the corner. Two skippers, McLeish and Butcher together. There's Irvin, and Woods just got a touch, turning it off the head of Brian Irvin. Another corner kick to Aberdeen. This was very close indeed. Woods at full strength just got the slightest touch here, and Irvin couldn't make contact. Put in by Paul Mason. A bit of pushing in the 6-yard box by Brian Irvin, picked up by referee Syme. The free kick to Rangers. Well, referee Syme is a very experienced official, 18 seasons on the Grade 1 list, so he's calling upon all his experience for this afternoon's match, which is undoubtedly full of tension. Walters did well despite that stumble. Brown looking for Johnston. The covering player is McLeish. Clearance goes straight to Walters. There's McKimmie, and a free kick has been given. Well, the referee certainly incurring the wrath of the Aberdeen fans. I'm not certain what that was for. I think Paul Mason was adjudged the culprit. Bit of pushing, perhaps. Rangers have the free kick, which John Brown will take once the referee has ensured that Paul Mason goes back 10 yards. Towards Davy Dodds. Simpson with Johnston. Cleared there by Grant. Down goes Spackman, and the culprit was Charlie Nicholas. It's a free kick again to Rangers. And there was Nicholas, he arrived late. The little strikers challenged that, mistimed. The referee content to give the free kick and acknowledged that that was a bad piece of timing by Nicholas rather than any malice. There's Butcher. Fish mistimed that, marking Goff. There's Bet. Cool defensive play by Bet. Simpson back to McLeish. Turned away by Irvin. And Simpson tripped there by David Dodds.
Well, I must say, Jock, I've seen more fouls in 25 minutes in this match than you see in 90 minutes in other games. It's very petty at times, isn't it? You know, players are just coming in late, tripping people, pushing, shoving. And it's all a bit scrappy. It's nice to see when Jim Beck gets the ball, at least, you know, there's a bit of football getting played.
Yeah, it's disappointing action so far, midway through the first half. An offside decision against Charlie Nicholas. Well, we've had some outstanding play only in glimpses. One from Charlie Nicholas, a couple from Jim Bett. And we've seen some good play also in flashes only from Mark Walters for Rangers. Oh, the chant of champions from the Rangers supporters. Certainly a draw would be satisfactory over the piece as far as the championship outcome is concerned for Rangers. But they certainly started the match as though they really were intent on securing victory. It's all become a little bit bogged down though in the last 10 to 15 minutes. And an offside decision against Ali McCoist in the middle of the field. So a free kick to Aberdeen. And the match really has been played in staccato fashion in the opening 25 minutes. So many stoppages for free kicks. There's Connor. Back from Mason, and here's a chance for Walters on the break. He's got the legs of Irvin. Across comes McLeish. Well, delightful skills there from Mark Walters. He didn't quite have the accuracy, but perhaps the best chance of the match so far to Rangers.
Wonderful skill here by Mark Walters. Saw the keeper was off his line, stubbed his toe under it. Lovely, beautiful little chip. And very unfortunate to see it go wide. But you've got to ask, where were the Aberdeen defenders there, Jock? They were all at sea, weren't they? So that was Rangers' best chance of the match so far.
And Mark Walters demonstrating one of the most difficult skills in the game. Chip in full flight. Here's Irvin. Now Mason. Being hounded all the way there by Spackman. And stopped in the end by Brown. And a good, solid tackle. Here's Stuart McKimmie now with the throw for Aberdeen. Nicholas coming short. That's a good turn away from Spackman. Playing it in there, looking for Hillhouse. And once again, Stuart Monroe doing a good job at the back for Rangers. Taking up good position. Cost £15,000 when he signed for Rangers from Alloa in 1984. A marvellous investment. Ibrox club. Goff doing well against Bet. Here's McKimmie. Now Nicholas. Trying to play that through for Grant. And the ball scrambled away in rather unconvincing fashion by Rangers. To Walters, who's away from Simpson. Trying now to take on Brian Irvin. That's a good sliding challenge by the big defender. Well, Walter certainly causing some problems now for Aberdeen. He's trying to find Mason with that return pass, but Butcher is there for Rangers. There's McLeish. Tough exchange there. McLeish and McCoist together. It breaks for Grant. This is Mason. Good anticipation shown there by Brown. McKimmie in turn trying to find Grant, who had broken on the right. The ball has gone out though for a Rangers throw. Rangers, of course, requiring some time to settle again. They made an impressive start to the match, then lost Gary Stevens and Ian Ferguson through injury. So both substitutes committed. They've had to settle down once more in a new formation. But here's Trevor Steven. Spackman. Steven again. Running into McKimmie. Johnston bundled from the rear by Connor. That's a free kick to Rangers. And no one in any hurry to get the ball back. Well, the ball really has been, to a large extent, superfluous so far in the opening half hour or so. Terry Butcher going forward. He's at one corner of the box. Gough is at the other. As Spackman prepares to take this free kick. Won by Irvine. There's Hillhouse. Setting it up well for Bet. Aberdeen now getting players forward. Front three certainly making runs ahead. McLeish picking out McKimmie. Promising this for Aberdeen. Grant has made a run. Returned there by Mason. Here's McKimmie. Well, that was a good move from Aberdeen. There is the scoreline on the half-hour mark. No scoring. Mark Walters coming closest to a goal with a fine chip shot a few minutes ago for Rangers. And Stuart McKimmie doing well on the run. That cross taken comfortably by Woods. This is Johnston and Walters. McCoy to Johnston. It came off Connor. Dodds now to Monroe. Here's Trevor Steven. Monroe to Dodds. Steven is offside. So was Stuart Monroe. Aberdeen retaining their organisation and composure, not being tempted to go back. Well, now looking at that again, it's very questionable.
I think Robert Connor was a little bit slow in coming out there, Jock, and that was marginal. I tell you, I mean, if you're a Rangers fan, you'd be thinking that was onside.
Well, the two players going in opposite directions. I mean, it looked as though Steven was well offside, but well, that replay certainly casts some doubt on the decision. So the throw for Aberdeen taken by Bet. Crowd strangely hushed again as Mason sends it across. Hillhouse trying to get the better of Brown, getting help from McKimmie. Mason trying to nudge that on. Bet was calling for the ball on the far side. And he lets it bounce. In goes Johnston. The linesman is flagging, and it's a foul against Johnston. Think of it a pulling and tugging there at Robert Connor. Free kick looking for Hillhouse. He's beaten by Brown. Beautifully taken down by Walters. McKimmie showing him the line. Now showing him inside. Johnston looking for McCoy. Irvine is in the way. Here's Mason and Simpson. Played wide by Nicholas.